More cost effective than going and seeing a movie, but not as exciting as actually going and seeing a movie. This is Two Fat Guys Discuss.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir. There's sun outside.
There is, for like the first time ever.
In Two Fat Guys Discuss history, the sun is out.
The first daytime show.
Well, no, it's pretty much being shot at the same time. It's just finally the sun exists again. A little bit. Anyways, welcome you to Two Fat Guys Discuss.
Welcome you.
We've seen that we got a couple views. We've actually kind of got some views now.
To you poor souls, thank you.
Yes, to you poor souls. Remember, the comments box, I'll check it after when I upload this one, but the comics box, I'll look for them. We're looking for ideas.
Let us know what you want to see. We're two fat guys, we'll discuss it.
Yes.
So, we've done a movies video before where we talked
Speculation.
We talked about the future of where some of some of our favorite kind of movies being superhero movies, obviously.
Comic book movies.
We've talked about some of the upcoming stuff that we've heard of.
Now we got some more cement. And
we got some updates.
So I'll start this with now this is kind of not common knowledge. I mean, if you follow and I'm gonna if you watch this when we do our general discussions, it's actually not that known. It's Rooster Teeth's new channel on YouTube, dedicated to straight news. That's where a lot of my ideas come from. Well, but fuck it, maybe you haven't seen it, so this is why we're doing it. So I just told you this like 2 minutes ago when you went, what?
It thoroughly shattered my mind a little bit.
So if I would say Batman and Superman versus Captain America, what would you think?
I would be pretty upset.
Like the craziest crossover of all time. It's not a crossover.
I would be pretty upset.
We'll crush the troll now. Crush the troll.
I'd be pretty upset just because I know that DC wouldn't let anything fun happen. Sorry, DC, you're dicks.
We'll crush the troll. No, actually, as it is lining up right now, the Superman 2 Batman Superman movie is set to release the exact same day as Captain America 3.
You had me real excited and real scared at the same time.
So, and then, I mean, granted, they can be pushed and moved and stuff like that because they're both 2016 releases. But as of right now, as it's slated,
same day?
We're going to finally see DC and Marvel go head-to-head opening weekend.
Who do you think will win?
I don't know.
The nature of the movie, I would probably give it to Superman Batman.
I would say that, but just off of how Cap 2 just did in the box office versus how Man of Steel just did in the box office, I'd say it's damn close. I couldn't say who would win just for the fact that and sidetrack a little bit of Marvel Entertainment with 9 movies under their belt. That means Cap 1, 2, Iron Man, Avengers, Thor. Oh, I'm missing one.
Avengers 2.
No, Avengers 2 isn't. These are movies that are actually out right now. Oh. So I'm missing one.
Are you including the Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. This doesn't count for Spider-Man, and this doesn't count for the X-Men movies. Iron Man trilogy. Cap. Thor. Avengers. I'm missing one. I don't know what it is. Anywho, is right now the highest domestic grossing thing of all time. Beating out Harry Potter, Star Wars, James Bond.
So that's not even including...
That's not including Age of Ultron and Ant-Man and all that stuff.
Spider-Man?
That's not including Spider-Man or the X-Men, no. Because there's only 9 movies. I don't know which one I'm missing, though.
I'm pretty... It has to be Spider-Man. There's only...
Spider-Man's... They can't claim Spider-Man because it's technically Sony. It's before Marvel started doing their own thing. That's when they were licensing stuff out. Anyways, so yeah, Cap vs. Superman, as of right now, it looks like they're going to go head-to-head opening weekend. And it should be interesting.
That would be...
I could see me personally, I'd get my ticket to straight walk into Cap and be like, fuck that, man. Dalton, could you imagine Dalton trying to make that decision? He's like, oh, God.
The only reason, if they actually did cast Ben Affleck as Batman, that would probably make me go see the Superman Batman movie.
I'll wait.
If they didn't, cast him, it would be hands down Cap.
Cat. Yeah.
Hands down Cap.
So let's move on. What else we got to talk about today on the list?
The third Days of Future Past trailer came out.
And you haven't seen it.
I haven't, no.
For those of you that are watching this and you haven't watched them, there's 3 official trailers, like the ones that are released before movies. And then there's, like the TV spots, which are just chunk. But the 3 trailers right now, you have one that just kind of sets up like, LOL, new X-Men movie. 2 kind of deals with starting opening up why Xavier is involved and stuff like that. And so it's a lot actionier. There's a scene where it looks like Colossus goes against like it's split second Colossus versus a Sentinel, and just Colossus is like BAM! And knocks his bitch towards the screen. But very actiony, like it's gonna be an action movie. The third
Kind
one,
of trailer you want to see for an X-Men movie.
and the third one starts setting up the story. Introduces and confirms that Quicksilver's in the movie. It's then the big thing at the end of this trailer. I'm not gonna explain the whole trailer. Just go watch it. But the big thing at the end of this movie, we now know, or at least in trailer world, Beast dies.
Really?
Beast dies. Well, now remember, they're dealing with time travel and he's trying to change the outcome. But as of the future, now, like here's the future, and then they sent Wolverine back. So in this future, he goes back and he interacts with young Beast and young Xavier. There's a scene where the young Beast looks at Wolverine and he says, "Do I make it in the future?" And he just goes, "No." Like, no, you're dead. So,
right?
so don't fuck up because you're gonna die. It comes out May 25th or 23rd, 25th. Very excited. Very excited.
I would like to see. I want to see.
Yeah. They're all on YouTube. So yeah, just look them up.
I'm
The
a
official
little
trailers.
more excited personally. I'm a little more excited for all of these Sinister Six drops that are happening in the Spider-Man trailers.
They're supposed to.
Have you seen some of the breakdown videos?
I've watched one or 2 of the breakdown videos, but I've seen the trailer so many times. I know what they're talking about. They're Shocker's eels, Vulture's wings pop up,
His tentacles.
tentacles are
Like all in
Oscorp,
one room, yeah.
And there's
And
like
there's so many hint drops for it.
Yeah. As it is right now, I was telling you earlier, right now they're slated to be an actual Sinister Six movie. And not just like Spider-Man, this is Sinister Six. Like, no, the 6
This is just Six.
are going to get the movie. And it's supposed to set it up for, from what's coming to be understood, the 6 movie is going to set up Amazing Spider-Man 4. It's going to be Spider-Man versus the 6 and the 4. But they can do straight action with it because they don't have to set up Spider-Man and they won't have to set up the Sinister Six. It's just going to be like, okay, now they meet. Apparently that's what they're doing with Venom in 3 too. Is they're going to do a Venom movie.
Venom gets his own movie.
And then 3 is supposed to be Spidey versus Venom. And a lot of people are like, oh, Venom should be the final one. I'm sorry. No. What? Now that's going to be a good movie. Venom, Spider-Man, even in the comic books, has always been entertaining.
Oh yeah.
But I'm
I
sorry.
wouldn't say it's the final.
When you look at it from a movie, your last movie's got to be big. And can you go too big? Yes, but I'm sorry. Mano y Mano versus Sinister and goddamn Six. Now he's beaten them hundreds of times, but it's always been work. He's always had to put forth work. So
it's the big fight. It's the big fight. Everyone's got their one big fight. It's the big fight.
yeah.
Superman's got Doomsday and Darkseid.
Yep.
Spider-Man has the Sinister Six.
So that's how it's kind of shaping up, and I mean, seeing the new, I'm glad you bring up Spider-Man because I have to say, the movie Sony and everyone that's not directly attached to Marvel, so not Marvel, so we're talking Sony and Fox. I think they're taking a little liberties with origin stories. A little bit. I don't know Electro's exact origin story, but now he's apparently, the way they have it set up, he's a fan of Spider-Man. And then Scientistic Cuba Habla happens, and now he's like, "LOL, now I am going to make you pay."
To be fair, they've been doing that for a while with the Spider-Man series.
Okay.
Like every single Spider-Man, like For example, Stan Lee was like, it never even occurred to me that Spider-Man should produce his own web because that seemed too outlandish.
Yeah.
Stan Lee straight up said that. He said it was a good idea, but he said it never occurred to him to make it a thing because it sounded too outlandish to where he decided that he would not put it in. So they've been doing that for a while. This isn't new.
I understand. And then the one thing, the reason I really bring it up, and yes, I'm a fanboy of Colossus. You know this.
I'm not complaining that they're doing it.
Oh no! They just like I can see a little more and more like it's like they got to set it up for their own universe, and I completely understand.
They also have to set it up so that people who aren't hardcore fans can go in and still watch this movie and not feel stupid.
True. The only reason, and the reason I really bring this up is there's another video. It's actually through the new X-Men movie. It's called like 25 Reasons or something. It's not 25, but it's 25 events spawning back to like the 60s in the universe, going all the way back to Reagan having shadowy deals with Trask, who, as we all know, builds the Sentinels. That's one event, then another event, then another event. That they're and it's probably because I'm a fanboy of Colossus is why it happens. Because his origin story, I'm sorry, is one of my favorite X-Men origin stories. Working in the fields in Soviet Russia, tractor starts going. They lose control of the tractor. It's about to run over his sister, so he just tries to save his sister's life, pushes her out of the way, and at that moment, fucking, I'm Colossus, bitch.
He turns metal.
Because of this, and they always attach it to emotion, like, stuff like that. Cool. Now they're saying the events of Chernobyl is, because they're like, oh, the Chernobyl incident with the reactor causes mutation. And I'm like, okay, I can see maybe that's how, but the thing that got me is they showed.
A mutant, though.
I'm like, okay, because in first class they do set up that it doesn't make them a mutant, but nuclear power, Hiroshima and stuff like that, has sped up the mutation progress. But it's all like, okay, if they just showed like a little baby with black hair and been like, oh look, baby Colossus. No, it's like he's like baby Colossus in this little maternity ward, this little metal baby.
Like metal?
Yeah, little metal baby Colossus.
All right, yeah, that's a little
no.
too far. That's a little too far.
I'm like, no, that's not.
That's not the worst they've done.
That's not the worst they've done. No.
I wouldn't say they're taking too many liberties. One example, they have to make it realistic as well to the people.
Yeah, they gotta have it mainstream.
Mainstream. The Judge Dredd movie, they really took the futuristic part out of it, and you think like, holy shit, in 50 years that could actually be a thing, and that added realism is what makes it grounded in reality. Which the Chernobyl thing, that added realism grounds it in reality. It makes you think like, holy shit, like there's a metal baby out there somewhere in Ukraine. Like, what the
I know, it's like, it's not how it happened. But at the same time, I understand what you're saying, like, because you can go as far as, like when they did Lady Deathstrike in X2. Her origin story is not her origin story. Like, she's just...
She was just thrown in there for the sake of throwing her in.
Like, LOL, she's a mutant, we're just going to put her under Stryker's control, and then Stryker built her. That's pretty much how it is,
That was
totally not her story,
that was
but
way too far out there.
You needed Wolverine to go head-to-head with someone, and we understand that. Yeah, so,
That's always been a pet peeve of mine, that particular one, though.
Yeah.
Because that was way too... Question. So, obviously DC makes movies.
DC makes
Marvel
movies.
makes movies.
Marvel makes movies.
Even, the Marvel licenses that they've sold make
Vivid
movies.
Video makes a different kind of movie, but movies.
Yeah, still making movies, right? Everyone has a really good understanding of the Marvel Universe.
For the most part.
Just from watching the movies, you can get a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a really good idea.
For the most part, yeah.
DC is pretty much Batman, Superman. They tried with Green Lantern. They really did. We went over this before. Too big, too soon.
Too big, too soon. And then I'll come to his defense again. A lot of people want to blame Ryan Reynolds.
He did a great job in that movie.
He put. You can't blame Ryan just for the fact that okay, so it's like, oh, they did, the goofy smart ass, just like Ryan Reynolds always plays. It's like, well,
Not really.
well, I mean, he does play it kind of goofy,
a little
goofy,
a little bit, but not really.
But at the same time, it's like you can't blame Ryan because he's got to answer to a damn director to tell him, no. Jeff Johns was an executive producer and the go-to guy. Jeff Johns, for those who don't know the DC universe, Jeff Johns is DC go-to Golden Boy.
Yeah.
They're the one that they did the New 52 and they said, we need Aquaman back. We need Aquaman to be a badass again. We gave it to Jeff Johns. And then he comes back and, oh, Jesus, fuck. You don't fucks with Aquaman no more. He's the guy, sort of how what Kevin Smith did for Green Arrow back in the 90s, Jeff Johns can do for anyone nowadays. Like, he's like we need to save this character, give it to Jeff.
Personally, I think he played Hal Jordan. He was a good Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
He was a really good Hal Jordan.
But there was the issues that we had that were in that movie were not Ryan Reynolds.
They're not even close to his fault. They took the biggest threat in the Green Lantern universe and threw him out in the first movie.
That's it. So it's like, I mean, the only thing bigger they could have done is just straight up like, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Okay, Sinestro's been a Yellow Lantern for 5 years now, and just done straight up Sinestro. That's the only other thing. That's the only step that they can go.
They could have done They should have done Sinestro, in my opinion.
If you're gonna go that big, just go fucking Sinestro.
They also between Parallax and Sinestro, they should have done the Red Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a good movie progression for 3 movies. And really get into a good idea.
Yeah, if you're gonna go big off the bat, you have to stay big. So.
That's what happened with Fantastic Four too.
Yeah, we've talked about that too. Yeah, just
we don't want to talk about that anymore.
Too big, too fast. Just because 0 to 60 in 3 seconds doesn't mean you need to go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
But what it brings my point to is from what people know of the DC universe. Most people don't even know of Green Lantern because everyone forgets about that movie. But it's Batman and Superman. They don't really give justice to any of the other superheroes at all.
No. I mean...
Marvel, you pretty much know everyone and know what's going on if you watch the movies.
Yeah.
Or you get a good idea.
You can get a pretty good idea.
Really good idea.
But at the same time, we're starting to see a shift with DC a little bit. Not so much in the movie industry, but in the surrounding industries.
Well, I'm saying I'm focusing just on the movies. Oh, just
on the movies? Yes.
Like, the only real justice that they're giving it at all is the fact that Batman and Superman are going to be in one same live-action movie. Mm-hmm. Instead of completely separate universes, which they've been in for a long time now.
And they're supposed to introduce Wonder Woman.
And they're supposed to throw in Wonder Woman, but I don't even want to talk about that.
We don't want to talk about it. But...
I mean... Marvel did their prankster movie. Well, Marvel didn't do it. Sony did their Marvel's Prankster, which is Spider-Man. They did their prankster series. It did so well.
Yeah.
Why the hell is there not a Flash movie?
Well, it's one. I think what it boils down to is you got to look at it from DC point. I mean, okay, so we have all these characters. We'll ignore the big 2. So we're gonna make Green Lantern, and we kind of blew our load too soon. So I can see why they would be hesitant not to stay on the tried and true too. These guys are gonna make us money, but at the same time, you got all these years of history that they don't want to neglect. Everything pre-New 52. That they don't want to neglect, but that's a lot of history. So how do you...
New 52 came out at the perfect time to start making these movies.
But the New 52 has not been as... They took a blow with the New 52.
If they would have taken the movies and modeled them after the New 52, I bet you the New 52 would have taken the fuck off.
True.
And if they would have actually gave justice to the 7 originals in the Justice League.
True. But at the same time, DC... It's early to start. I think it's kind of early to start criticizing DC, and trust me, you know me, I love to criticize DC. Just for the fact that they are now they're starting to tread water a little bit in the movie industry as far as I mean,
It's treading water ever since Batman got done with its last trilogy.
That's it too. It's like okay.
And that was the only thing that was saving them in the first place.
Then Man of Steel comes out, and it split the internet down the fucking middle. Worst movie, best movie. But at the same time, it's finally, DC's just now. We were fortunate enough, even if you exclude Spider-Man movies, the X-Men movies, just the Marvel movies, we were fortunate enough, okay, we'll do an Iron Man movies.
Well, that's the thing.
And then we'll do
Spider-Man's fault.
Yeah.
This whole thing is Spider-Man's fault. And I'm not saying fault bad, I'm saying fault good. The only reason why we have all these great movies is because Tobey Maguire got together and played Spider-Man with I don't who played Mary Jane.
Oh fuck, Kristen Dunst.
Kristen Dunst played Mary Jane. They made a pretty good movie at the perfect time.
Yeah, it was.
2004.
I think it. Well, no.
It was 04.
The original Spider-Man's older than that.
I thought that was 04.
Because do you not remember? Oh, now this is, if you look it up on YouTube, I think you can find it. It's the Lost Spider-Man trailer, and there's a big rumor about it that the reason that this trailer, what happens in this trailer is the reason why when he's doing his whole Spider-Man thing and he's starting, the in-between time between, ooh, Petty, they stirred my purse, to Green Goblin, how we kind of just get this montage. It's just like paper clippings, and you see him, you get ready in paper clippings. Because the original trailer that appeared pre-9/11 was the, something happens, and then it zooms out, and it shows a helicopter from a bank robbery. These guys were escaping a bank robbery, caught in a huge web between the twin towers, and it zooms out and you see it reflecting in the glass. That everyone speculated, maybe that happened. That was supposed to happen in the movie. Then 9/11 happens, the whole...
I heard about that, yeah.
Because, and then, and then you look at Spider-Man...
Spider-Man 2 was 2004.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 came out 2004, so that's,
But it's Spider-Man's fault, though, is what I was
It came out... Well, you can't just
blame... time.
You can't just blame Spider-Man. X-Men came out right around the same time. And it was
X-Men came out around Spider-Man 2 time.
I don't think
the original launch of Spider-Man is what really kicked off everything.
True, because two did come out pretty quick.
I mean, we had Batman movies for a while.
Superman movies.
We had Superman movies for a while. We had a couple movies for a while, but they weren't really. Well, they weren't really popular.
The elephant in the room.
Let's just put it this way.
Elephant in the room. Yeah, we did have a Cat movie. We did have a Punisher movie. Back in the 90s and 80s, and we do our best.
The Fantastic Four that wasn't released.
And we do our best to forget about them. Yeah, and at the same time, I actually talked to my dad about this the other day, and I want to delve back into it if we're going to go back a little bit. When the comic book movies started coming out, and for years, Marvel released the Cat movie. It didn't. Then they license out, and they have Dolph Lundgren play the Punisher back in the 80s. Oh, yeah, it didn't work out. Fuck, Spider-Man. Oh, sweet! X-Men did good. Okay, Ghost Rider. Not so well.
I thought Ghost Rider was alright. It didn't get the hype that all the other ones did, but it was an alright movie.
Good, bad. It's a mix of good and bad. It's a bittersweet in my just for the fact of what they had him go against. Yeah. They could have done more.
The new series of Punisher movies.
And then, there was the Thomas Jane John Travolta's Punisher. My gripes with it as a Punisher fan, they went, I think, just too far.
They put too much stuff into one movie.
It wasn't even so much okay, so you're going to change it that they murk his whole family. That works. Because he's a revenge-based character anyways. Instead of 3 people dying, you want 30 people to die? That's cool! Because that just makes him even more pissed. But the thing is, it's like, LOL, then I'm the Punisher, and I'm going to seek revenge. It just, in the timeline, where they put him, where he moves into the apartment building, and the 3 characters, Pierce, the fat guy,
and the chick.
And then the chick, that takes place so far down the Punisher timeline to what's referred to as the Welcome Back Frank series. that's my one gripe with it, and I'm not mad though because it gave him more of a reason to not, it set up a world where, with the Russian, that's what because the Russian's one of my favorite fights between Punisher and a villain is the Russian, versus how they set up the Punisher, how it just be like, oh look the Russian, but blam. That, okay, he's in this building and he doesn't have his guns. Okay, now it gave us a badass fight scene. But it is what it is. It happened. It was decent. It is.
I still think, I think that they tried to cram too much into that movie.
A little bit. He takes out, two assassins within, 15 minutes. And these are both assassins that get
they were, back to back.
Stories, too, yeah. Oh, I just got done killing this guy. I get home. Damn it, now I have to kill this guy. Yeah, a little too big, too quick.
It was still a good movie.
It wasn't horrible.
I liked it, and it did pretty good.
It did decent.
Punisher 2 didn't do as well.
And I don't see why.
I wasn't too big of a fan, and that was mostly because of the free runners.
Yeah, I can feel you on that. It's not for those watching. It's not called Punisher 2. It's Punisher Warzone.
Yeah.
They recast the Punisher. It just takes place more along the lines of it's the Punisher has been doing this for a little while. He's been doing this for a little while. He's at the point where he's starting to clean up shit, and then the story progresses from there. So it's more the Punisher movie you would expect seeing the Punisher if Punisher launched in '80. I'm not saying he did, but if he launched in '80s, this is where he would be in his storybook line. Is he's just straight up murking motherfuckers at this point. It's just don't watch it for a story. It's just an action movie.
Oh yeah.
It's just a straight up action movie, which the Punisher is designed for. But Daredevil comes out.
Daredevil, Elektra came out as well.
And I want to bring up this point my dad made. Daredevil, and he opened my eyes to it. The problems with Daredevil was not the most common problems. A lot of people bitch about Ben Affleck as Daredevil. If you actually look at Daredevil's character and Matt Murdock as a character, Ben didn't do that bad.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't do that bad.
I've said this before. I like the Daredevil movie.
I'm not familiar with Daredevil comics, so I did too. I did enjoy it too. And then the other things they complain about, Colin Farrell playing Bullseye. I'm sorry. Bullseye in the comic book is a cocky motherfucker who gets his way. Who else in Hollywood but Colin Farrell can just be like, alright. You need me to be cocky? Fuck it. Okay. Perfect casting. Then the chick who played, the Elektra movie itself, I'm sorry. I didn't like that one. And then, I'm sorry, big kudos. I mean, one of those, it's the same kudos I'm going to give to, the last 3 minutes of Schwarzenegger's performance in Batman and Robin. How, if they would have kept the character from that last 3 minutes and did the whole movie that way, fucking awesome, would have been Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. Everyone bitches, Kingpin's white. Okay.
Isn't Kingpin mixed?
Well, he's
darker than white.
He's white or white-ish. But he started white.
Kingpin is off.
He started as white. And that's the thing is, everyone wants a bitch. Sorry. Everyone wants a bitch. Kingpin's white. I'm sorry. Here's my challenge, too. Because a lot of people never really fucking do this that want a bitch. Kingpin's not fat.
Yeah.
He looks fat because he wears a suit all the fucking time. And that's, if you put a suit on a bulked up motherfucker like that's body, he's gonna look fat because you have shoulders and then just, it has to compensate. He looks fat. That motherfucker's built as hell and huge. And he has to be huge compared to Daredevil. Here's your challenge.
You want compared to anybody.
Okay, so you want a white actor to play him? Find me a motherfucker big enough in Hollywood who could do it. Vin Diesel can't do it. He's toned, he's not big. So Michael Clark Duncan is the size of
The Rock now.
The Rock now.
The Rock right now.
Michael Clark Duncan at any point in time in his fucking career where he's just like, I'm a truck. I'm a truck. I'm a truck. But I'm a human.
The Rock right now could do it. The Rock right now.
Did you see his latest role?
No.
He's playing Hercules.
Really?
They're doing like a Hercules reboot, and he's playing He's playing Herc, dude. And I saw some stills.
Can he touch his face? Can he touch his
He
own
can
face?
touch his face
For sure?
Yeah.
I swear that dude's muscles are so big he can't touch his face.
But like I seen a still of him, and he's got the fucking long hair wig on, and he's got the fucking loincloth and shit, and it's like, I buy it. I totally buy this motherfucker as Hercules. You don't even gotta do anything else. Just put it out on screen for an hour and a half, and just
His shoulders scare me.
ugh.
He doesn't have a neck anymore.
No, he's got a neck.
He's got a neck with 2 lumps this high.
True,
All right,
true.
that's not a neck.
He's got a neck with support beams. Don't beat us up, Brock.
Back to
this.
Marvel took shots. Marvel did take
Yeah.
shots. They took shots at their characters that weren't as well known. They tried.
Oh yeah.
Can't really say the same for DC.
Yeah.
DC's try was like, let's take a really big character that's very well defined and try, and then Green Lantern.
Well, I mean, and I think it's DC's own fault. Let me point these out because the Superman, Batman, Superman, Batman, Superman, Batman, Superman, Batman. Wonder Woman has had more projects shut down on her than I can fucking remember. To just recently, in the last 3-4 years, there's going to be that pilot. They were going to do like a Smallville sort of like TV series, but basing it with Wonder Woman. To the fact that there was actually the chick going to be playing her was from Toledo. That got canned. The only other hero. I mean, you got a million Superman movies, a million Batman movies. You got the Green Lantern movie, and they bitch. The only other hero that's gotten any fucking sort of screen time is Green Arrow with that show on CW. And I think the only reason that is what it is because in Smallville, towards the back half of the series, Green Arrow comes up and he's like Clark's friend, and he's one of the main heroes, and he's a mainstay character, and they're like, oh, okay, now we'll just do an Arrow series with it. That's the only other fucking
That's
person.
not a movie, though. We're talking
No.
movies.
I'm just saying in media in general, dude.
I think
You can take that movie argument all the way down the list.
I think DC's doing the exact same thing that they do whenever it comes to their heroes, when it comes to anything controversial, with the exception of when they did Injustice. Because I fucking love Injustice.
Well,
I told you why I love Injustice.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen Man of Steel yet?
I haven't. I know he does kill something. He kills the guy.
There's a couple scenes in it in which
That's not really the same thing as fist chesting Joker, though.
True. Yeah, but as you said, just as everyone, as we all know who's watched either the cinematics, as soon as they do it, what do? Backpedal this and an Elseworld story. Like, oh, you fucking cowards.
I still am happy it happened.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. I'm happy it happened.
And I gotta to the internet. You want to bitch that Superman snapped Zod's neck in Man of Steel? That's what they like to bitch about. Do you not remember Superman killed Zod in Superman 2, the Christopher Reeves one? He killed Zod in that one too. No one wants to. Everyone forgets about that. Zod's become like the character like we accept Superman killing. Like he can kill Zod. He's a douche anyways. But yeah.
I still think that they've beaten the dead horse enough.
They need to do something else.
I think that I like the Green Lantern movie. I'll be the first person to say I like the Green Lantern movie. I would like to see a second one. They fucked up their chances of ever making a second one.
Oh yeah, they completely burnt that bridge as soon as the numbers start coming.
I will be the first person to buy a Flash ticket.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I fucking love the Flash. I love the Flash.
And the thing is I mean, they have such fucking just opportunity. I mean,
Martian Manhunter, perfect person for a movie right now.
Oh yeah. Especially seeing that the whole rumor is you guys are building up your Justice League universe so you can do, they're like, oh, Marvel did the Avengers and they're gonna make it a trilogy. Well, we're gonna fucking do the Justice. They're doing the reverse of what happened. Justice League comes out, Marvel makes the Avengers to compete with the Justice League in the comic books. Now Marvel just went, Avengers, bitches, and they're like, oh shit, now we're gonna.
And they released all the movies beforehand too. Now I really do fear that they're gonna make a Justice League movie, then try and make individual movies.
Well, the thing that's been brought up before by someone who we both watched, Angry Joe, that even said he's like, because he's the one that I was watching who announced, Jesse Eisenberg and get whatever her face as
Still hate that.
as Wonder Woman and stuff. He even says it like, no, Wonder Woman is part of the fucking Trinity, for Christ's sakes. DC boils down to two things. There's the Trinity, and then there's the Justice League, because pretty much everyone's in the goddamn Justice League at this point, just like everyone's in the goddamn
Everyone is in the Justice League.
But the Trinity, the big three, Bats, Supes, Wonder Woman, the fucking Trinity, the three driving forces, the original founding members, outside of Martian Manhunter.
Well, there was Martian Manhunter, there was Flash.
Flash is actually comes in. Well, he's in the first issue, but it's more like the Trinity, and then they reach out.
Oh yeah.
But no, Wonder Woman deserves a
John
standalone.
Jones puts it all together.
Yeah, Wonder Woman deserves a standalone.
How I see it is they all deserve a standalone.
They do.
I don't think that they should do. Now again, this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. I want to see a Martian Manhunter movie after he's been established in the universe.
Some sort of give us an established. Well, no, I'll take Martian Manhunter from do it as they set up in Man of Steel, where they do the prologue, where the first like 20 minutes of Man of Steel takes place on Krypton, and these are the events that lead to Superman getting shipped out.
Well, the reason why
do their prologue, the fall of Mars.
The reason why I say that at all is I don't think it's the original one, but the current accepted introduction of Martian Manhunter is putting together the Justice League.
Don't follow it enough to rebuttal against it, so.
I guess he's like trapped somewhere in a government underground bunker or something, and then like
the government's
he telepathically suggests to the members like, hey, go here. And they're like, I think going there is a good idea. And he's like, oh, fuck yeah, it's Batman, what up? And it's like, oh, it's Wonder Woman, sweet, yeah. And then like Flash shows up, and then Green Lantern shows up, and then they rescue Martian Manhunter. Like that's his current accepted. That's actually
in one of the animated movies. I can't remember the name of the movie though.
Well, it's in the actual Justice League show.
Mm-hmm. And they do it in a movie too, where they one of the few animated movies they go back to the Silver Age, because it's Flash when Flash just starts becoming Flash.
Tin Head Flash or still Red Suit?
Oh no, they kept him in red suit. They didn't go that far back. But they're all like, they all get together to fight this great evil, and Martian Manhunter is sort of running the gig and stuff like that. And they're all like, what do we do? And it ends up becoming like, well, we have the Technobabble Ray. That's what we're gonna call it, because that's all it is. The Technobabble Ray, and it can weaken the monster, but it regenerates so fast that unless we focus it in one spot for god awful amount of time, that's all it's gonna work. We'll strap it to the back of Flash, and he'll just run around the motherfucker and shrink it. But I can't remember the movie. But yeah, it goes along that same line. I do understand that. We got two things that we need to talk. Two things on the list that I really want to cover, and I know time's starting to work against us.
We're way past on time, yeah.
So Amazing Spider-Man 2 has come out overseas and has been seen. Either drops today, which today is Friday. I'm going to try to get this up by Sunday, by Easter. Because I don't have practice tomorrow. I might just come home, link it up, start uploading it, and go to my mom's. But at the end of Spider-Man 2, there's an X-Men Days of Future Past teaser. Apparently Marvel's called it in and said, hey, you guys, we don't run you guys, but as one of the stipulations to our licensing, you have to try to promote the next in your series or another Marvel movie. So it's strictly business that, Spider-Man comes out this month, and then X-Men comes out next month. You know how they do at the end of the credits, there was the...
There's always... Yeah.
There's the nod to what's next.
Which is beautiful, by
the way. They're trying to establish it with their other ones,
Which is always beautiful.
Which is always good. So it's not a crossover. We're not going to see Wolverine next to Spider-Man. it's strictly business. But I love the fact that, you know, we did it. What did we go see? Did we go see one of the movies? Did you go with? No, you weren't back yet. We went and saw the Avengers. It was me, Garner, Nikki. He was still Nikki at the time. Dalton and his family, Jen and Billy. We all went and saw Avengers, and we've gotten so used to seeing this hint that you know, the plays and, you know, movie, and then halfway through the credits, you know, there's the shawarma scene, and they're like, just, which I think is one of the best little, because it's just this joke.
It reminds me of like 80s movies or like a Ghostbuster after credits shit.
Because it starts off as you just, first time you hear about it, it's just this cheesy ass joke from Tony Stark, and you're like, oh, that's a joke with Tony Stark, because, you know, Hulk, rah, oh, I'm awake. Oh, there's a new shawarma place, we should try it. And he's just like, and everyone just looks at him like, oh, Tony, you crazy. And then there's that mini scene where there's just no dialogue, just eat your fucking shawarma. And then, so half the theater clears out thinking that's the thing. And then, you know, the credits finish, and then there's the Thanos reveal, where he's just like, they're like, you know, the Chitauri's are like, well, the Earthlings have proven to be more of a hassle than what we thought. And he's just like,
and he grins,
I got this. And that little hint comes up. The one that pissed us off so much, because we knew Cap was coming and stuff like that, but at the same time, it was before this licensing, like, hey, kind of buffer it up. We went and saw First Class, and the whole theater sat there, because, oh no, Cap came out, and something else was on its way out. And then at the end of Cap, you know, it hinted, and at the end of the Iron Mans, it hinted at Thor and all that stuff. Stayed there, sat there, all through First Class, and then we sat there through the credits, and we're like,
what is it?
blue screen. No! Nothing, no hint. And so, yeah, it's just business. There's no crossover, which was really cool. Genius on Marvel's part. Genius on Marvel's point to being like, hey, you guys, you know, maybe competing. Technically, you're owned by Sony. Sony wants to beat, you know, Fox in the box office. But you're dealing with our world. Let's help our world expand. How else are we going to defeat DC?
I would like to see the crossover.
I would like to see the crossover, but that's licensing and all that stuff. I mean, there's the big hint, there's the big rumor that Marvel's waiting for everyone to come home because they want to do Civil War or they want to do Avengers vs. X-Men.
Civil War would be freaking awesome.
Jesus, fucktard Christ. Yeah, Civil War would be amazing.
That would be freaking awesome.
That would be a trilogy. There you go. Marvel, bring them home because you got the Avengers trilogy. Damn. We need... And then, this is what's going to happen. Avengers trilogy.
That's really the end of the Avengers trilogy. Should hint to the Civil War.
Don't even do that. Have them beat Thanos. And then, that scene at the end, have someone in Congress talk about, we need to keep the metahumans in check, or they need to register. Boom! Sets up Civil War. And then you put out, okay, so you've hooked everyone. And then all the comic book nerds in the world go, oh my god, Civil War! And you put the Civil War trilogy against the fucking Justice League. That would be genius.
Wrecked.
That would be genius.
That'd be wrecked.
DC would have to up their ante pretty damn hard.
I don't think they could. I don't think they could because of the stipulations that they put on their own shit. I don't think that they can match it. I would fucking die to see the Civil War.
Oh, yes. Civil War before we
Especially with all the current actors that they... Oh, man.
Now, we're going to close on this one thing. We both agree on this. We both don't want it to happen. The big rumor... Channing Tatum is going to play Gambit. No. This is what we say to that.
Actually, that's how bad it is. This is how bad it is. There's two on each one. This is terrible. This is a terrible idea.
No. I'm sorry.
Terrible idea.
So what? Channing Tatum's from the South. Whoop-de-doo. He has no accent. And I bet you he has, and if he does have an accent, I bet you it's the y'all. It's not Cajun.
No.
I'm sorry. And he don't look the part. He's fucking short.
I know Gambit's big.
He's tall and lanky.
Yeah, that dude is too big.
He's not super tall.
Gambit's big. He's not big.
Yeah, he's not.
That dude is too big for Gambit.
That on top of the fact that I'm going to go back. We're going to go in a time machine. X-Men 4 was originally announced way back in 2006, 2007. Because it was, I remember being in high school and reading this. Josh Holloway was dreamed to be Gambit. I'm sorry, if you don't know who Josh Holloway is, you probably know what the show Lost is. He played Sawyer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Give him acting, give him a coach, give him Miss Cajun.
Perfect.
Done.
Perfect.
Done.
That would honest. Oh man, I want to see that so bad.
Real quick, I have to close on this real quick. So Lost, you've watched Lost?
Yeah.
And now saying, Tom Sawyer would be the perfect Gambit. If he's the perfect Gambit, Matthew Fox's character, the doctor or whatever, the main character, he's got to be Cyclops then. We're going to close on that for Two Fat Guys Discuss.
I'm Dan.
I'm John. Till next time.
Cyclops.